we know that this money, which is up to £12 million, has come from Queen Elizabeth. That's been confirmed. What we don't know is whether that money has come from the taxpayer. And I think that's the main point of contention that everyone's like, because they're like, well, have we as tax-paying citizens has our money been used to pay off someone who has been accused of sexual assault? Because I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't be very happy if that was the case.
The first thing to look at is, why is it even coming from Queen Elizabeth in the first place if she like stripped him of his titles and his rights and stuff? I thought, considering how this has been this been dealt with in like the public eye and through the media and stuff, has been very like hush hush. I personally, since the beginning of this case, do not understand why it hasn't been so much more of a big deal. Obviously it is a big deal and the media has handled it, like it has made front page news and whatever, but I feel like the nature of the case means that it should be huge, like with Jeffrey Epstein and everything. I feel like it should be like massive case that should be like followed every inch of it, right?
Yeah, even if it's just allegations, like it should receive that level of attention. Yeah,
but obviously like it's been dulled down as much as it possibly can be for obvious reasons, which is annoying in itself. But since the Queen has basically like said like, we don't want nothing to do with you, I'm surprised that she's even provided the money.
In 2020, taxpayers paid $85.9 million to the Queen in the form of the sovereign grant. So what's that, like maybe a sixth of that would have been used to pay off if it's £12 million. And this isn't it, like it's been throughout history. So in the 70s, the Queen actually successfully lobbied the government to change a draft law in order to conceal her quote-unquote embarrassing private wealth from the public, according to documents discovered by The Guardian. So basically, Elizabeth's private lawyer put pressure on ministers to alter proposed legislation to prevent her shareholdings from being disclosed in public. So basically, to hide from the public how much the Queen's quote-unquote private wealth actually is. And then in 2010, so obviously that's relatively recent, reportedly the Queen asked ministers for a poverty handout to help heat her palaces because they feared it would be, but it was rebuffed because they feared it would be a public relations disaster. So the royal aides complained to ministers in 2004 that the Queen's gas and electricity bills, which had increased by 50% that year, stood at more than $1 million a year and had become untenable. And they also complained that the $15 million government grant to maintain the Queen's palaces was inadequate. So, I mean, I did go and look into this afterwards as well, in terms of obviously people that are in support of the monarchy, a lot of the time their argument is, oh, but the tourism, it brings in money. And I did go and look into it, and obviously the amount that comes in supposedly from tourism is ridiculous. It's billions of pounds. So it's not like this £12 million is balanced out by that. It's a very small percentage of that. However, I'm a bit confused how any of the Queen or the royal family's wealth can ever be private, considering that they have attained it through purely by being the royal family, which essentially runs as a business. And obviously we know where a lot of that money has come from. It's come from profiting from previously colonized countries, most of them still to this day, because they still hold so many relics that they haven't returned.
There's a lot of like weirdness when it comes to talking bad on the royal family. Like in this day and age, it's still very like, a lot of people still are like, no, you need to respect it, like, and uphold, like, you know, that respect for the monarchy or whatever. Like people still don't even want to open their mouth to criticize, because it's very like, oh, it's just cute, like it's this nice thing that we have in this country, right? But then you look at it and it's just like laced with scandal, with such disgusting scandal the last like couple of years with Prince Andrew, that I just no longer can even like, I can't even look past like Prince George and Princess Charlotte and be like, oh my god, so cute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that like we essentially pay for them to just be the royal family and to just exist is crazy, considering that they can't, you know, be open about where the money comes in and comes out, or they can't be open with us, or they can't be more interactive with the public about certain things. Or like when Meghan Markle came along, all of that like drama, and then basically exiling her and Harry out to Canada, and then all this stuff with Andrew. It's just like ridiculous at this point. And no one, I think as our generation becomes older, it's going to become more and more like important that we speak out on these things.